chain. We had a goal of 25,000. So Matt Byerly, the doctor that is in charge of this clinical trial, I'd like to call you on stage now. He has come all the way from Dallas with his wife. They're driving back tonight. Okay, this is a big deal. So, so Laura Font and Susan Connell, who are the co-hosts of this event, we would like to present you. First, I want to say a little bit about this clinical trial, and he's going to go into way more depth because I'm not a doctor, but I do know the magnitude of this clinical trial and what it means to me and what it means to my daughter Scarlett. Both of my co-hosts have children with Down syndrome and what it means to them. This is groundbreaking. Just want to say, you know, just as on a personal note, when I first had my daughter, it was a world that I wasn't exposed to ever. I didn't know anyone with a disability growing up, so it was it was a whole new world for me. And when I left the hospital with her, I vowed that I was going to find the people in this world that were doing today what the rest of the world would be doing 20 years from now. And I found Teresa Cody, who is here in this room. Yes, with Changing Minds. Yep, she's amazing. And I found Laura Font, and she became my mentor. Love Laura. Yep. And these are truly warrior moms. I can't tell you, they are professionals in the day, and then they spent their Okay, they spent their nights like until 2 and 3 in the morning researching to try to find, you know, ways to help our children. And I just can't say enough about these women. They're amazing. And so anyway, when I found out about this clinical trial in January, I said we're going to make this happen, because they needed money they needed matching funds. They got the money, but you have to have matching funds, and I said we're going to get it for them so they can start this trial. I'm going to let him tell you about this trial, but first of all, now we're going to present how much we've raised tonight, and this is amazing, okay? So here we are. Are you guys ready? Matt Byerly, Dr. Matt Byerly, we are presenting you with $28,043. The people here tonight have done this. This is for you. Thank you all. Thank you to the Firehouse. Thank you to 93Q. Thank you to the entertainers, to Gabe Wooten, to Mikey the Messick, to the Broken Spokes who's going to blow the roof off of this place. And just thank you, everybody. If I forget anybody, thank you. And thank you, Matt Byerly, for doing something that nobody has done before. I'll tell you really fast. When Scarlett was like 3 months old, I took a stack of research that Teresa Cody and Laura Font gave to me about research that had been done in mouse models about giving Prozac to kids with Down syndrome and how it makes their neurons work. And my pediatrician literally looked me in the face and she said, "Your daughter's not a mouse, Claire. I think you haven't come to terms with the fact that she has Down syndrome." She said that to me. That's my pediatrician, and that's what lots of pediatricians tell their patients that have kids with Down syndrome. And so this clinical trial is the first that's a human clinical trial. So it gives, like, moms like me, you can take in a real piece of research that was on a human, and it changes the game. So that's what we're here for. Woo! Okay? Woo! Thank you all. Thank you. Yeah, please. Tell them about the trial, too.
Well,
you want us to hold it?
Sure. When I was shaking my head about that I wouldn't be giving you a lot of detail. That's all I was saying. I'm not going to bore you with too many details. Claire did a great job of explaining what our study's about, so I'll add just a little bit to that in just a bit, but I want to start by thanking Claire and Laura and Susan and Teresa for all they've done for our study. What a tremendous accomplishment on your parts. Then I have to start by acknowledging that the research we're doing is by a tremendously long shot, not done just by me. It's an entire team of people. And in fact, I'll get to the most important and innovative part of this study in just a bit, but I'll have you in anticipation for that. It has nothing to do, frankly, with the science or with the study team, but I'll get to that. The study team is the largest team I've ever worked with. Very complicated trials that have up to 25, 30 sites, such as the largest trials from the National Institute of Mental Health may have 4 or 5 or perhaps 6 researchers that plan a study. That would be amongst the largest trials in the country. This study has 14 researchers on the study team. And that's because it's a really complicated study in that, as Claire mentioned, it's unique and it's a first. And what we're doing is we're trying to treat a developmental disorder before it begins. And in this case, that means during pregnancy or prenatally. And so that takes maternal fetal medicine specialists, OBGYNs, Dr. Robin Horsegard-Boyer is our representative at UT Southwestern. It takes a Down syndrome expert, that's the director of our clinic at UT Southwestern, Dr. Mary Carlin. It takes world-class radiologists to study the effects on the brain. It takes pediatric pharmacologists. It takes ethicists, because this is a very complicated thing to be doing from an ethical perspective. So I really want to acknowledge there's a huge team of people that literally invested for an entire year just to lift off the study. So that's also a lot more time invested in that than I've had participation in. So it will be the first study that tries to intervene prenatally for a developmental disorder, and that's, as you might imagine, very unique. But what's exceptional about this study is the way that the idea was developed. And it'd be pretty cool if I could tell you, wow, I came up with this great idea, but you've probably already figured out this was not my idea. The really unique thing about this is a grassroots study. So family members who had been studying the effects of this medicine, and as Claire mentioned, following its effects in mice who have been given Down syndrome genes, have been studied now for 10 years with increasing evidence that it helps brain development. And then about a year ago, Teresa, I think in particular, along with a gentleman by the name of Paul Watson, sent me a study that was a prenatal study of mice. And that study literally entirely reversed the effects of Down syndrome when treated prenatally with the same medicine that we will be using.
Wow.
So that was brought to me, and I had a lot of catching up to do. I had been doing clinical research with people that have brain disorders for 20 years, but I had not, frankly, been working in Down syndrome. But I had met Paul Watson a year before that, and Paul said, we're going to find something to work on together. And a year later, it was this project. There is tremendous evidence to support that this is this is the best next step to try to see if we can in fact improve the lives and functioning of people with Down syndrome, and we are just flat super excited about it. So the most exciting part for me about this study is that I'm part of a community who's put together the study, and so I've largely been the conduit who's taking care of the administrative aspects to allow us to test this treatment. So I'm just super excited about that. I want to finish by acknowledging a long-term co-investigator of mine, Dr. Paul Nekenesny, that's been working with me for 10 years, and then to acknowledge a perhaps my most important advisor and supporter. My wife has been very involved in research for many years, especially on the management side. And this study in particular has had multiple challenges along the way, and it's been a perfect example. When I get a bit stuck, I go to her and say, honey, listen to this, what do you think? And more often than not, she leads me in a direction that ends up being the right direction. So my wife, Marie Ann's in the audience. Thank you, honey. Again, thank you for your tremendous contribution. I could not be more proud to be involved with this community of research. Thank you.
Okay, and one more time, thank you to everybody. Thank you, Matt Byerly. I hope you have a safe drive back to Dallas tonight. And are you guys ready? Are you feeling good about what we